I'm Naisha and welcome to Homo Sapiens 2.0. Today I'm honored to be joined by Mrs. Diksha Jainji, who is currently serving as the Chief Development Officer of Kanpur. Ma'am's work involves closely working with communities, development challenges, and the evolving needs of the society. Her perspective, especially, is valuable when we try to understand how everyday human behavior is changing in this digital world. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here today.
Thank you for having me here for the interview.
So, ma'am, firstly, with the growing technology challenges and the use of AI in the current century, this excessive digital use is something similar to digital alcoholism, because as much as we consume alcohol, digital alcoholism is something that's present at the beck and corner of everyone's household, and almost every person nowadays has it. So, where the dependency is subtle when people think of it, this socially accepted norm often goes unnoticed as well. So, in your experience, do you think that this comparison holds relevance in the status quo today? And are we underestimating the seriousness of this alcoholism as well?
I think addiction of any kind is a phenomenon where essentially you lose independence
Right.
of action, you lose freedom because you are so dependent on something. It sort of takes away your freedom to take decisions completely with an independent mind. So basically, I think when we call it alcoholism or we call it addiction, it's basically excessive use and dependence on a
Right.
substance, a phenomenon, a technology, anything. So it's I wouldn't say it's like it's a decent comparison. You could since both of them are addictions.
Ma'am, I also feel like that with me personally as well. It is something that I feel like I pick it up for 5 minutes, but then because of those ads and different apps, it just goes on leading me to different things where I spend hours on it as well. So if I look at action as well from my personal perspective, in your view, this one small but meaningful shift in the society or habit and mindset of the people as well, can individuals truly adopt this and maintain healthier relationship with it, where like in the sense of learning as a school going student, I feel like it's all about the AI integrated learning because there is no way of eradicating it. So do you feel like we can have this healthier relationship with technology in our daily lives as well?
I think so things like doom scrolling or excessive sort of addiction to social media apps
Hmm.
or digital alcoholism, as you framed it very nicely. These things are essentially leading to dopamine spikes, right? And it sort of gives you that instant gratification at that instant boost, and you
Hmm.
keep on scrolling. So it is possible to coexist with it. It is possible to do that only through an exercise where you have, I think, a larger self awareness,
Right.
and at the same time, you have to also be more conscious in replacing it
Hmm.
with activities which are, let us say, giving you a kind of pleasure which is more slow absorbing and at the same time gratifying in the longer run. Now, it can be work related, it could be, let us say, as a student, it could be reading good books, it can be being involved with sports, playing a good game. So, that kind of happiness that these activities bring. Here, I think I may talk about, like, you might have read about John Stuart Mill, right? So he talks about these higher pleasures and lower pleasures, kind of a dichotomy. It sort of, in this particular case, holds true because many times it's very difficult to leave something if you don't have another option. If we create other options, we create a higher purpose. We create, higher purpose like fitness, like being more well read, doing better at academics, or sort of focusing on our academic journey more or something like that. So basically, it's a higher purpose can help people in sort of digital detox.
I also feel like, technology creates this algorithm and it shapes the way you think because it will answer to your questions according to what your responses are as well, and that also hampers the growth. of our students and even in the society as well. So, ma'am, honestly, even I've noticed this problem with myself, that although I know that it's not something that's right for me, I still have a lot of problems putting it aside. So, any suggestions or any practices that you would feel that would be beneficial to the society as a whole?
um uh, I would say that I think it is something that is affecting everybody. Even I have a lot of problem putting the phone
Yes.
down many times, and because the way in which the digital work and the marketplace works, it needs more and more customers. So it will always be designing it better to sort of suit your interest. So if you're interested in sports, it will show you more sports reels. If you're interested in cooking, it will show you more things with food and recipes and things like that. And it could be anything. And a different kind of mind rot for everybody. I think whatever is there. But what I would say, um, one is that of course, whenever it gets too overwhelming, it's good to just shut it off. I think for some time, just consciously make that effort that no, so maybe for example, you can log out of apps, log in again when you're feeling the interest
Yes.
towards it again, and when you're feeling more balanced. Again, as I said, that you can sort of replace it with other activities.
Hmm.
It's good to meet with friends, have deeper relationships with families, which will never come unless you
Hmm.
speak more, discuss more with them. So I feel that is one part of it replacing, and the second is introspection. So discipline is, it's something that we've always learned as children, and discipline is something which is important to succeed in any part of your life,
Hmm.
whether it is your personal life, whether
Hmm.
it is your professional life, whether it's a student's life. So unless you bring in discipline, so you have to make that conscious, like sort of,
Yes.
it's a hard no, like you
Hmm.
have to be like, okay, no, so I'm not going to do
Hmm.
this. I'm going to put down my phone, say after 10 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 p.m., whatever is comfortable. So I
Hmm.
will not look at reels after that. One thing that I notice myself do scrolling a lot, especially before sleeping.
Yes.
So I sort of realized that it was hampering my sleep a lot. So I make it a conscious point to not watch my phone before
Hmm.
sleeping. So it's okay to take like messages or emergency calls, that's
Right.
okay. But scrolling on Instagram or YouTube or something like that, so that is something that I avoid. I mean, that is something that I can share.
Even I saw an ad where Netflix had put up, we're not competing with other OTT platforms, we're competing with your sleep. And that's something that truly struck me, because their competitor is only our sleep. So, but it was really insightful having this conversation with you,
Right.
and thank you so much for your perspective as well. I'm sure it helped everyone else watching as well. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.